Hello folks, Ed here with you. Getting ready to, never mind my congestion. I've been this way for a month. It's spring in the south. Got this 78 Gibson F5. Don't know who signed it. Don't know. Don't matter. But anyway, but yeah, we are going to refret this thing. As you can see, these frets are bad. Going to plane the board, set it up real good, and we've got this issue right here. The binding is just rotting off of this. I'm pretty sure this is celluloid. Anyways, I'll get it out in a minute. So, got some corian pieces over here we're going to cut down for that, and put it on there, glue it on with some stucco cement, probably is what we'll use on that. I don't know. We'll use something, maybe some canopy glue. I don't know, one of the two. Put it on there, try to dye the binding to make it match everything else and seal it real good and get this dude back to the customer. We'll show you a few things. I've oiled the fingerboard here. Probably end up making a nut. The customer's wanting to go with a larger fret wire, which I am 100% for. This little stuff here, it's just not very comfortable. I just don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, but some do. That's their choice. So we've got the old soldering iron heating up here. Going to heat these frets and pull these bad boys out and get to work. So check back with you later. All right, folks. I am back with this old Gibson that we're working on here. We'll just finish working on it. We have refretted it. This nut is a new nut. The other one that was in it was, obviously when you go to taller frets, you typically have to make a new nut, or new frets even. So this one, the nut that was in this was glued on both sides. On the bottom, I don't know, it was something like epoxy. Typically, just if it's just a little dab of glue, super glue or something, I can tap it and it will come right out of there. That other one wouldn't. I wish I'd videoed that. That was an ordeal. So after trying, I eventually just took a dovetail saw and I just cut right through the middle of it and took a wood chisel and just chipped away at that thing. And so obviously there was some damage. It even pulled a little piece. I don't know, whatever this stuff was. Nothing would break it loose. It even tore a piece of the fingerboard out. And you can see I fixed that. You can't even tell anything's happened. But yeah, underneath a lot of the wood ended up coming with the nut. So I ended up leveling that and shimming it, and see a little dab. That's actually a little dab of color right there on the sides of it, where I actually got away from me when I was trying to color that wood. But yeah, we fixed it, filled it in. Both sides are you see my little shim right there. I think the other side I had to do 2 shims, and just kind of level them there in the middle, and 2 dabs of glue. 2 little drops. Tiny drops. That's all you need, folks, is that. Honestly, I probably could have got away with no glue at all, but I didn't want it moving around on the customer, so I did go ahead and put 2 little drops of super glue on it. Top bond, fish glue, anything. Don't use whatever was on this, and if you use super glue or anything for that matter, not that much of it. Good grief. It should fit by itself. It might move a little bit. That's what the glue is. Just keep it from moving around a little bit. But yeah, installed some new fret wire, leveled the the board the best we could. There was a lot of wire and divots and everything else in this, but yeah, we fixed it. Yeah, and as far as this, I had the points that the customer, see if we can, there we go. The color is not perfect, and this is still wet, so it's part of why it's still looking a little darker in spots than others. I just did this 2 or 3 hours ago probably. But I ended up not using those points because they weren't big enough. And what I ended up doing with this is, if I can get it set there, is I took a little bitty micro chisel and I went along in any place that wasn't solid in that point, I removed it. And the customer's like, hey, why don't you just go ahead and do the other one too? So this one was actually, once I got started on it, this one was actually worse. This one's been done a little bit sooner than this one. That's why I'm touching it. But I actually ended up going all the way, and it's hard to get this color to match old binding, and it's just hard to do. But yeah, we got it done. You can kind of see where I had to go there. And I don't know what those dark spots are. That don't make sense. But yeah, we filled it. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than a hole. So, but this thing sounds quite a bit better after we set it up. Plays really good. Action's just as low as it could be. And this is actually a custom nut spacing that I have been toying with. A lot of times, if the nut feels good, I'll just take it and copy the string spacing from the previous nut to the new one. But this one was in pieces, so I couldn't do that. So when I do that, typically I'll use this little string nut spacing ruler. But I don't know, I just can't hardly get those to work too good for a mandolins. Typically you measure in and then, I don't know. But anyway, I just went and did it with feeler gauges and a caliper, and I think it turned out really, really good. One of the better looking mandolin nuts I think I've ever done. Getting a little bit more efficient at these things. But yeah, it's a good little mandolin. It's ready to go home to Oliver Springs. I think that's where the customer's from. Let you hear this thing. It's quite a bit better. Yeah, I'll let you hear this thing real quick before we put it to bed. Probably gonna let it just stay out tonight and let this lacquer kind of air off a little bit. And yeah, blotchiness is already starting to level out. If it don't, I'll go over it with some really fine sandpaper and just make everything look real pretty. It's been well played, you know, and that's what I told the customer. I was like, you know, I don't want to make I don't want to make it, you know, one part of it look brand new and the rest of it's been distressed and played pretty heavy. So, but yeah, I actually went through the color of this a couple of times, and it's just so hard to get everything to match up. And you finally just have to accept what you can do and what's possible. And because there's darker spots on this, there's lighter spots. I mean, it's just, but yeah, a little bit about this spacing at the nut. I really, really like how this is spaced out. And I don't hide anything from anybody. If a mandolin, guitar, banjo, whatever comes in and you want a custom nut made, yours is wore out or something, if you like the spacing and the spacing is good, then I'll typically try to just copy what's already there. But this one came out in about 150, 200 pieces. I don't know, it was a bunch. So I was like, well, I'll just make this play the way I think it would be comfortable for me and anybody else. I know I got big hands, but everybody likes strings that are spaced out comfortably. And I mean, it just works. I went through and a couple different spaces, used feeler gauges. I think I tried 50, 55, 60, and I think I settled on 60. I just really, it's just for this spacing or the neck width and everything, I think it's just right. And then went through and found a spacing in between that I really, really liked, and I just went with it. It's comfortable, it plays good, and its main thing is it sounds so much better. I mean, worlds better than what. When I first got this thing, I was like, man, I don't know if I can do much with this as far as making it sound better, but I just went through and did a good setup and got everything where it needs to be, and you know, it helps. It really helps, and I think I don't like the nut that was on this one before, and I ain't tooting my own horn, but this one's much better. But yeah, I like it. I mean, for an old 70s Gibson, these were very hit and miss. Most were misses, but this one sounds pretty good now. That'll work. On to the next one. See y'all.